So ladies and gentlemen, as you could see, my shop kind of exploded, but it's because I'm in the middle of putting up dust collection and it's kind of difficult getting everything organized. So I wanted to do a little bit of a quick video on just some tips and tricks on setting up your own dust collection system. Now, for me, my dust collector is a fairly large one, as you could see over there. That's a Powermatic 3 horsepower 220 volt dust collector. I built myself that Thane top hat there, which actually works great, but I'm replacing it with an Oneida Super Dust Deputy XL. So that's going to be going there in its place, and I got a new bucket instead of that Brute. I'm just going to use that Brute container as a garbage can. So it's a smart idea to do 2-stage on your dust collector, just because you see those bottom bags there, they're just kind of difficult to change, and it keeps the dust from entering those top bags and kind of getting back out into the air. People think that having dust collection is about keeping a clean shop, and it is partially getting the sawdust off the floor and stuff like that, but the big chunks of sawdust and shavings, that's really not what's hurting you. It's the microscopic stuff, the really small micron stuff that floats through the air and that you're breathing in. So the less that you get into the dust collector itself, the better. Those bags are probably not the most efficient. You're better off with a cartridge if you can do it. But I don't have that, so I'm not going to be doing the cartridges probably for quite a while. But anyway, so as you can see, it comes out of the top of that into that Thane top hat. From there, it shoots out to this Y, which after I get the, what do you call it? That Dust Deputy set up, I'll be making this a little more of a permanent fixture. It kind of hangs there. And then I have the 2 blast gates. The bottom one here, this blast gate opens up, and that opens up to my table saw. So I keep the table saw real close because it creates a lot of that dust. And then this one goes up. Now this hose here, now everything I have is 6-inch. The dust collector is actually 7-inch. It's a 7-inch port. It just was very difficult to find parts and stuff for 7-inch, and it gets very expensive. Now you're talking commercial quality stuff. So I just dropped it basically to 6-inch right off the bat. Ideally it probably should have stayed 7-inch, but for financial reasons I dropped it to 6. So then I run 6-inch all the way up. I have that Y there coming out to the right. That one is going to get finished will be finished getting run today. I'm going to run some more over into that corner and drop it down, because over there in that corner of the shop is probably going to be the permanent location of the bandsaw. I'm probably going to upgrade that soon, but that's where that's going to go. Now back to that Y, here comes this other trunk. Now I have one trunk that comes off of a Y here. Again, if you're going to do branches off of the main trunk, it's best to use a Y. 45 degrees is a lot less of a turn than 90. So if you could do the Ys, it's much better, unless there's some kind of constraint, but I can't really see why you would need to use a T. So it comes out of the Y, and it comes across the ceiling here, and then it drops down. So this one's quite literally in the middle of my shop. And I downsized it to 4-inch here, because eventually underneath this, basically right here on the floor, I have my router table. That's going to get set up here. I'm going to be picking up a joiner at some point. That will also go here. And I have a lunchbox planer. I'm debating whether I want to upgrade that or not. So all of that's going to go right here, and this is going to be the main trunk for that. So in all reality, it's fairly close to the dust collector. It's right there. So it's maybe, I'm going to call it 20 feet of hose to the dust collector. So it's not too bad. So we have that set up there, and then off of this will come a couple Ys, and then those will drop down, maybe a Y to the left, another one to the right, for 3 or 4 different machines that are going to be centered right here in the island. This wood rack here I'm getting rid of it. So if you know anybody who wants this lumber rack, leave a message in the comments box. Anyway, then past that Y, it comes to another Y. This Y comes straight down the wall to a hose here with a self-cleaning blast gate. These aluminum blast gates, which I think are great for the price. You can get these on Amazon for about 12 bucks. Just slides over, slides the other way. What makes it self-cleaning is it actually slides through completely. A lot of them stop. This doesn't exist. So basically you're just opening up and closing. There's nothing here. And sawdust can get trapped in that side. And then you can just tighten that down. In this location, that knob doesn't matter too much, but sometimes you may have to mount these blast gates vertically. Maybe a pipe coming through horizontally and you have to mount this vertically, in which case you're going to need that knob to stop it from closing on itself. Let me just back out here again, climb over my bit of a mess. And oh, by the way, that goes down to a floor sweep. So I can just sweep everything up into that and it'll suck it up into the dust collector. So no more dustpan bending over. Yay me. Okay, and then it goes across and bangs a left. There's a 90 in there. It seems to be working pretty good. I did a little dry run on it. I know it's a tight corner and it's not ideal. I might increase it if I see an issue of it maybe clogging up over there. But I really don't foresee that being an issue. Then it drops down to 4-inch, basically because I ran out of 6-inch ductwork. I have a few more pieces to put at that end, so I wanted to save. I have 3 or 4 pieces. And then everything off of here is going to be 4-inch. I'm not going to have any big machinery here. So I have my first drop there. Second drop here I ran, and this drops down to, I believe that's a 3-inch pipe. I'm going to have to reduce it even more. And I think this area is going to be my my chop box station. And then back up, I have a third drop right here. And that'll be the end of the line for this one. I just figured I could run sanders. This is going to be a long bench, so I could run my sanders and that kind of a thing. So that's basically the dust collection as it sits so far. Just so you guys see, that one right there where it drops down, that's again that middle island in the middle of the garage. This is just from the other direction. I used a Y there and just put a cap on it. And what that's going to allow me to do is in the future, if I decide to run something over on this wall maybe, over here, it'll allow me to just take that cap off and run some more ductwork straight across the ceiling and drop it down over there. And the idea of that is I could have done that on this branch. I could have had it just keep going and made another turn and filled that out. But the shorter of a run of ductwork you can keep, the better off you are. And remember, that one's a lot closer to the dust collector. So that's probably the closest branch, besides the table saw, that I have. So if I, again, decide to run something on that opposite wall, I could just continue that ductwork over and do that, and it'll make it nice and easy. I don't have to pull anything apart. I just have to take that cap off and tie into it. So that's basically it. I just wanted to show you guys what I've been doing. I should have documented it probably a little bit better, but I didn't, so I'm sorry. But I'll probably do a little recording of me hanging this stuff. As far as putting it up, some of the tips and tricks. I bought all of this ductwork from Home Depot, believe it or not. It's basic HVAC ductwork. They sell 2 gauges. They have their light duty gauge, and then this is 26 gauge. It's a little heavier duty. And buy that. It's 10 pieces of, I just bought 10 more pieces of 4-inch, and it was $45, so about $4.50 a piece. And I think the 6-inch was maybe $5.50, $6 for a 2-foot section. So it's not, it doesn't break the bank. The fittings kind of hitch in the pocket. They're about 10 bucks a pop. So, you know, you get a little bit of an investment, and these hoses are not the cheapest either. Tape everything. Probably went overkill, like every elbow. As you can see, the elbows are, they come straight. Let me see if I have an extra one. Yes, I do. I have some 4-inch ones here. So I have them stuck together. But as you can see, you just basically turn these sections to change the angle. And I don't think you're going to lose any suction through these. They're pretty tight. They're sometimes actually pretty hard to turn. But I taped them anyway. I have the tape. I just use this 3M, it's cold weather tape. because it's cold here, and that will help it to seal it. And when you wrap anything, I use this little plastic scraper here, and I squeeze out all the bubbles as I'm going. So I take this and I'll push that tape in real nice and tight, and it helps seal it that much better. And you'll notice a big difference. You could do it as tight as you want with your fingers, trying to get it tight, but when you put that scraper on there, it really does make a difference. So definitely try to tape everything, tape all the seams. Another thing I didn't do, and I'm experimenting with it, everybody says you have to screw this stuff together. I didn't put a single screw in it. Reason being, I didn't want those screws hanging stuff up. Say you suck up a little piece of paper or something like that, and then it gets caught on that screw, and that starts to ball up, and that catches another piece of paper, and before you know it, you have a clog. So I didn't want to put any screws in it, and everything seems to be holding together. I put this thing on a test run last night. That thing sucks, man. It really does. So I don't think I'm going to have any issues with that. The you know, maybe I'm wrong and the whole thing will fall apart in a year. I don't know. And if that's the case, I'll put some more screws in it. But the tape holds really, really well. So I don't foresee me having an issue. Everything is hung every few feet with some strapping. It's strapped to the walls real tight with metal strapping. I don't see there being any issues. This one here is just hanging, and I couldn't pull that out if I tried, just because of taping. Just the tape holds it together that well. So I don't see there being any issues. As far as other tips and tricks, can't really think of any right now. But I'm going to do a little more videotape, and I'll videotape me finishing up this branch here, and I'll edit it up and see. Maybe I'll put it up. Not sure, but we'll see. So thanks for watching, and I'll show you the dust collection after it's all completely set up, and basically how this whole thing works. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the German Joiner if you haven't done so already, and look for more content which will be coming soon.